let's transition ourselves into our last segment for today, which is our leadership lessons from Luke. Yes, a couple of months, actually, probably almost a year or so ago now, doing a Bible study through Luke, and almost every verse was speaking to me around leadership, and I've put together this little kind of all these little lessons that we can learn from Luke, and so we'll be doing this series for a little while until you guys get bored of it. Let us know in the comments. As with everything, put down in the comments any of your thoughts or ideas about anything that we've shared. But I want to talk about Luke 6:43, and if you're in an NIV version, the heading is a tree and its fruit. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. The good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and the evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored in his heart. For out of the overflow of his heart, his mouth speaks. We've spoken about intention a lot today, Dr. Rod, about what's in your heart, and I kind of think this is a nice conclusion to what we've been talking about. That as leaders, it's so crucial that we make sure we're producing the right fruit, or also alternatively, be careful, because the wrong things will produce the wrong fruit, bad fruit, and people will see that, and we've seen it time and time again. But, looking back the story about Samaritan's Purse, about the blue ticks, about, the car dealers and everything we've looked at, even talking about the political divide, all of the topics actually comes back to, at the end of the day, you'll be known by your fruit. So as a leader, what is the fruit that you're producing? I personally want to be known for making sure that the people around me are all growing. I just want people, like I speak about my video editor, and he's always talking about, he'll ask me a question and I'll give him advice on something, and I'll share with him, and he's like, oh, why do you do this? He's over in India and everything. I'm like, I want you to grow. I want you to become the best person you can be. And so if we as leaders are the fruit that we are producing, and are people growing around you, or are they dying around you? Dr. Rod, how can we as leaders make sure that we produce good fruit?
Well, you've got to be a good tree.
I love that. That simple, good, scripturally
I think,
correct.
Yeah. I mean, metaphorically, of course, that little passage is really saying, ultimately, you cannot hide your heart.
Yeah, that's good.
So it really boils down to this. Is your heart right before the Lord?
Mm.
Do you need heart surgery? Do you need heart transplant? Because you can't hide it ultimately. Always, the fruit is going to reveal the heart.
Yep.
So, look, can I just, and this is not to condemn, because as Christians, right, we do not come under condemnation.
No.
The role of the Holy Spirit is not to condemn us, but it is at times to convict us.
Yes.
Right, which propels us in the right direction, okay? So we're not condemned. We don't need to feel badly about ourselves, but sometimes we do need that conviction to propel us forward and say, Lord, is there anything in my heart? Look, I can give personal testimony of how the Lord had to deal with an issue of pride in my own heart.
Yeah.
And that was in connection with a promotion in the workplace. And I remember I was offered this opportunity, and God spoke so clearly. He said, don't do it. Now, I had the good sense not to. And it was another year after that before I was given the same opportunity again. And I just said, Lord, I'm locking myself in my office. I'm going on my knees, and I am not moving until I know from you whether I should take this opportunity or not. And it was less than 2 hours later, I sort of thought I could be there all night, or I could be there for 30 hours. I didn't know. In less than 2 hours, God said, take that opportunity. But then he added something that I didn't ask for. He said, because I've now dealt with the pride.
Oh, wow.
Now, I did not know.
Mhm.
I wasn't even self-aware. I wasn't aware that I had an issue with pride in relation to that promotion opportunity. But somehow or other, God dealt with my heart during an intervening period of 12 months or so. And I've found this in my own life. I think I shared briefly in our last video. God asked me the question, why are you still seeking identity through position?
Yep. Yep.
So he's dealing with the heart. And, ultimately, if God doesn't mold my heart, then the fruit is going to be a message to the whole world. This guy is seeking identity through position.
Yes.
Or this guy is seeking identity because he's prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Or this guy is seeking position or wealth or power to satisfy some need in him, right? Not to bring honor and glory to the Lord, and to engage with him in redemption.
And the thing is if they see that, we just look the same as everyone else.
Oh, absolutely. And people say you're not authentic.
Yes.
And if you're not authentic, let me tell you, you're not a leader.
100%. And I think that one of the biggest, could I say, weapons? Maybe one of the tools I have in my tool belt is the fact that I make sure that I represent myself differently. That the fruit that is around, the fruit that I'm producing is different. And I get recognized for that. I have people always asking me, why are you different? Why do you lead me differently? Like I mentioned, my video editor, obviously he works with people all over the world, and he dropped everyone else and he goes, I'm not working with anyone else but you. I just love working with you. You encourage me, you support me. I think of my first, actually just recently, my first ever virtual assistant probably over 10 years ago. I started working with him, and he had only just literally started offering virtual assistant services. And I didn't just get him to do the work. I helped him grow. And he always constantly said, there's something different about you. Why do you treat me differently? What is it? And I'm able to share my faith then. And what I was able to produce with him is he ended up raising up through the ranks and ended up running the whole organization that he was working in because of the fruit that I produced in him. But he recognized, and he even reached out to me recently. That's why I kind of bring him up. It's like, you treated me differently. And even the 10 years, he goes, I haven't had anyone else treat me the same way you have. And it's common that I'll have people say that about me. Now, I'm not saying that to big note myself. It's just people will recognize, people should. We as Christian leaders should have people saying to us, there's something different about you. What is it? And if we talk about going forth and the great commission of going forth and making disciples. Yes, we need to mentor people. We need to lead people. We need to disciple people. We need to teach them. But we need to introduce them to Jesus. We need to evangelize as well. And the easiest way to do that is have them ask us what's different.
Absolutely.
Right? Not try to pound it over their head. Right? Like you produce amazing fruit that people are coming to you going, why? What is it that makes it? And then you go, well, have a seat and let me tell you about this dude named Jesus, right? So what, you look like you were just about to share something else there, Dr. Rod. But yeah, it's really important for us to be known for our fruit. What else do you have to share to encourage our leaders to make the right decisions to produce the right fruit?
Look, I think probably the only thing I'd like to say is be kind to yourself.
Oh, that's good.
I think, Craig, when we were talking about doing these videos in the first place, I'd said to you, well, yeah, what I can contribute is what I've learned from the many, many mistakes that I've made.
Yes.
And see, one of the great benefits of any kind of education really is that you can learn from other people's mistakes. So you don't have to make the same mistake. And what I would do, I would just encourage people, particularly younger people in leadership or those who hadn't had a lot of experience, just give God permission to work on your heart.
That's good.
Because ultimately it's the state of your heart that will influence the fruit that you produce. And you will make mistakes. You know, you're human. After all, we're living in a world which is fallen. We were born into sin. We're not perfect. So be kind to yourself as well, because you will make mistakes. But, you know, consume videos like these and others like them so that you can learn from the mistakes and from the experience of others, because the value in their mistakes, the value in their experience is that you don't have to go through the same thing yourself.
That's
and
really
you
good.
can actually build on their wisdom.
Yeah, that's good. Let me close on a mistake. I talk about the fruit that I produced. There've been times that I haven't. And I kind of want to bring it to your attention is I'm an achiever, right? Like I'm a doer, right? I get things done, and I'm a very task-focused person. And so some of us might be thinking right now, well, yeah, I produce lots of results. That's good fruit. That's not necessarily good fruit of a leader, because I made that mistake. I thought that as long as I was getting things done and we were having success, material success, and achieving things and getting projects done and completing things. And I felt like the more we got done, the more fruit I was producing. But I actually made the mistake during that time of producing lots of outcomes, but not much good fruit, because the people around me were burnt out, felt used and abused, you know, like just fell by the wayside because we're all driving forward. And it's kind of part of what actually caused us, you know, the foundation of the OnPurposeCUBED leadership model was the trifecta. And I'll put a link below. You can go and check out the program and go and look at all it's for free if you want to check out the leadership development program. But we really, it's all based on the fact that there's three main elements. First of all, we need to lead ourselves on purpose, because, you know, like Dr. Rob was saying, is our heart, right? So we need to work on ourselves and make sure that we are on purpose ourselves. And then we need to lead outcomes on purpose. You know, we need to be purposeful with the tasks. You know, we're talking about Samaritan's Purse and everything. They're achieving things, their mission, they're achieving outcomes, and that's great. But if we as leaders don't also help lead other people to fulfill their purpose within that same environment, then we're failing as a leader, because we're driving towards outcomes but burning people along the way. And that's probably the key for that fruit, is we can't just be producing fruit in the financial realm or in the tasks completed column. It needs to be we need to be growing. We need to be achieving outcomes, and the other people that we are leading, they need to be growing and living their lives on purpose as well. Hey, you just watched an excerpt from the On the Cube Leadership Podcast. If you like that, hit the like button and put a comment below. Hey, if you want to watch more videos like this, check out our channel, and while you're there, make sure you subscribe.